Hi guys, welcome to another video. Hope you're all keeping well. Now for this video, I'd like to review a Blu-ray that I picked up and watched recently from the BFI library. And it's a movie that was made in 1970. It's a British movie, and that movie is called Nightbirds. Now, as per usual, before I say anything else about the movie and give you my thoughts on the story as a whole, I'll just read you the blurb at the back just to give you some idea if you haven't seen it. Right, okay. So while living rough on the streets of London's East End, a young man, Dink, played by Bowick Cayley from Coronation Street, encounters the mysterious Dee, played by Julie Shaw, and they begin a relationship. Now, when tenderness gives way to cruelty, they become consumed by darkness. Now, previously thought lost, this extraordinary film has been remastered to HD from the only surviving film materials, and it's presented here with Milligan's British horror feature, The Body Beneath. Yeah, so there you go. That's the outline, guys, of the 1970 movie by Andy Milligan, Nightbirds. Okay, then, guys, I'm going to talk a little bit more about the movie now and give you my opinion on it as a whole. Yeah, I quite enjoyed it. It's not. It's. I must warn you, if you're thinking about buying it, it's a very, very slow burner. It takes time to build up, but but it's well worth sticking with because the ending is very, very dark, and very disturbing. Basically this mysterious young woman, Dee, he comes across this young guy on the streets of London. He's a bit of a down and out and that, and when we first meet him, he's throwing up, he's very, very ill, and Dee comes over to him. I must say, she's a very, very beautiful looking girl. She's got long blonde hair, and he's got these eyes that really stand out. And even though the movie's shot in black and white, you really sort of like the faces really stand out, especially the girl, the faces really stand out. Yeah, okay. So she comes across Dink in London and that, and she takes him back to a rather dingy flat, in the heart of London. This movie was actually shot near Spitalfields, and apparently not far away from a pub where Jack the Ripper was supposed to two of his victims were, two of the Jack the Ripper's victims frequented. Yeah, so as I say, she takes him back to a flat and that, and she asks him would he like to stay. So there follows a rather torrid relationship, but this guy becomes absolutely besotted with Dee, but it turns out as the movie goes on, she's not all what she appears to be, and you start thinking like, is there something more dark to this woman, that at first glance, is she harboring some sort of dark secrets? I won't tell you, guys. I won't tell you too much about the movie, but as I say, although it's a pretty slow burner, I found it pretty enjoyable. And there's the couple there, Dink and Dee. There you go. As I say, beautiful looking girl, but she's, but as I say, the way she starts behaving as the movie goes on, you start to have, reservations about her, her motives and that, But this guy, I think he becomes absolutely besotted with her. He really does, and he thinks he's found his dream girl. As I say, she's a beautiful looking girl, long blonde hair, and she's sort of like, he thinks she's onto a good thing, really, because he's a bit inexperienced with women. And she's sort of like, well, basically, he falls right into her clutches, and she pounces on him like a cat would pounce on a mouse with a broken leg. That's an accurate analogy I can give you. And she exploits him. She sees it a bit like sort of like he's a bit of an introvert and that, and she really exploits him and that. She sort of like gets some sort of perverse kick out of playing up to him and that, leading him on. But I'll say I won't go on too much about it. Because I'll let you see it for yourself, and you can judge for yourself whether you like it or not. But it's not for this is a movie not for everybody. My mum watched it and she hated it. She thought it was really, really slow. I mean, it was slow, but it wasn't as slow as the other movie. It blow up the David Hemmings one. That was excruciatingly slow. But this, I wanted to see what happened. Like when this girl took this guy in off the streets of London and cared for him and sort of like, basically had sex awarenesses. And there's one particular scene, guys, I should warn you, is a little bit near the knuckle, so it is what I say, it is sort of like a little bit sort of like I say, a bit explicit in that, but it turns out like at that particular moment and that DC again she's playing him along, she's acting as if she's enjoying it and that, but she's got this sort of like dark side to her personality. She's a mysterious woman and she's a bit of a liar as well, because she says to Dink, my parents died years ago in a car crash, but it turns out the mother's still alive actually, because she gets on the phone to her later on in the movie, and apparently she'd had a baby as well, and it involves syphilis, but I won't go any further than that. So that adds sort of another sort of like sinister aspect to the part where they have sex and that, and when he actually has real bodily real sort of like extreme contact with it and that, sort of thing. So not only is her personality is questionable, she's also carrying disease, and it seems as if she's sort of like transmitting disease. She's transmitting the disease onto Dink. Oh yeah, you've got all this sort of like these dark undercurrents going on with her D. She's not the beautiful girl she appears to be. I'll just show you the inside, guys. Anyway, I've got a there's the inside anyway. So there's your Blu-ray, and you've got your DVD, and I've got a great little booklet here. There's actually another movie on here as well. It's a kind of a vampire story set in modern day London, and it involves a reverend, and he's really a vampire. Yeah, that's in colour actually. This one is Nightbirds is in black and white. But anyway, here's the booklet anyway, guys, and some shots from the movie here. I love it when they include booklets and that. There's the rather naughty scene. I won't show it all, guys, but suppose you can imagine, leave it to your imagination what's going on here, but this D, she's talk about the devil in disguise. She's a real devil in disguise. I say she's a beautiful looking girl, as you can see, from the photograph. Gorgeous girl, she really is. Played by Julie Shaw. There's not too much known about Julie Shaw. She's only made 1 or 2 films, but oh yeah, she's got lovely hair. And poor Dink, he's absolutely besotted with her. He really is. He's absolutely besotted with her because he thinks he's found his, he's got his dream girl basically on a place and that, she invites him to move in with her and that, and they have a relationship, but the relationship, as far as Dee is concerned, the relationship turns out to be very, very hollow. And she's just basically playing him along, really, but oh yeah, you get the hint she's, even psychopathic, hints of her being a psychopath are exhibited in this movie, the way she behaves and that, because so 1 minute she's all right talking, and next minute she sort of like, she basically goes off her head and starts shouting and that, and the more she sees like Dink is sucking up to her, like he's growing more and more fond of her, the more she's playing him along. Oh yeah, it is. I thought it was very good. I mean, my mum hated it, but I thought it was a good psychological drama. But as I say, it's not a movie for everybody. So if you like your movies with a lot of action and blood and gore and that, this movie won't be for you guys. But I enjoyed it. Like, I just wanted to know what would be the culmination of the relationship, between Dink and Dee, and it did grip me actually from start to finish. It's a real little gem. Not many people know about this movie, Nightbirds. So I'm always made up when I come across a little gem. When I'm looking among Blu-rays and that. Always delighted when I come across it. A very, very rare movie. And this is a real rare one. This Nightbirds. So it tells you everything about the movie and that. Fantastic, yeah. So Andy Milligan, he's one of those he made these exploitation movies and that, a bit like the other guy. He had the box set of Steckler, yeah, I did enjoy it, so as I say, if you like your slow burn, it's what like psychological drama laced with like some pretty hot sexual action. Oh, here, missus, I think you might enjoy Nightbirds. There again, another close up, guys. Dee and Dink, yeah. But as I say, she's a beautiful looking girl, and oh yeah, when you go back to the flat, man, he can't keep his hands off her, and he's running his fingers through her long blonde hair, he's kissing her all the time, and he actually he comes across this pigeon. They go out in London, on the streets of London, and Dink comes across this wounded pigeon. It's broken its leg, so he takes it home. He goes back to the flat with Dee, and he takes the pigeon home and he starts nursing it. He's treating it like a sort of like he's a father, and he's sort of like trying to nurse the it better. Well, that suggests like that he's looking for the same from D. He's looking for a sort of like a lady to sort of like take him in and nurse him and look after him and that, and it hopefully maybe it leads to marriage, you know. But oh boy, is he wrong? Is he misguided? You know, but because this woman, you know, this D, she's a very, very dodgy character, you know, and as I say, devil in disguise, you know. So if you like those type of movies, guys, with a beautiful looking girl, but she's not all, you know, beauty's only skin deep, I think you will enjoy Nightbirds, yeah. But yeah, she really plays up to his feelings and that, you know. And yeah, and I've got to tell you this part here, guys, where I'll just read it to you here. Now, Dee's lust for control is played out in other ways too. What are you swearing for? You never do, she snaps when Dink burns his finger on the stove and lets fly a few expletives. A spontaneous moment of anger is an affront to her wish to have all of Dink's responses under lock and key. Andy Milligan, in a hint of things to come, paints her as a sort of vampire. Let's make this our last trip in daylight, she says as they walk through Spitalfields, hugging the wall like agoraphobics. The world's so ugly by day. Yeah, Milligan creates with the character of D a portrait of quiet psychopathy, standing outside of emotional situations, observing and looking for ways of gaining mastery. She demonstrates that chilling lack of empathy and concern for others that makes possible the crimes of a serial killer or investment banker. An exchange on the telephone not only lays bare the extent of Dee's lies about her background, but she also reveals worse. A mysterious Jack is in the last stage and her baby's been sent to her home, but probably won't live very long. So it seems that she's given birth to a baby with syphilis. Yeah, so there you go. Yeah, so as I say, guys, so there you go. That's my review of Nightbirds from 1970, and you've got like two supporting characters as well. You've got like a guy like with glasses and curly hair. He reminded me a little bit of Freddie Garrity, Freddie in the Dreamers. He's a kind of like landlord, and he gets jealous a bit when Dee takes in Dink, you know, because he knocks on the door and that, and he starts sort of like, he lets out a few sort of like words of disapproval and that, you know, and she has an argument with him, and then Dink, he's got this older woman. She's a kind of a mother figure to him, but it does suggest that he's had her as a lover, you know. But she looks at this woman. She looks at Dink as more of like a son, you know, sort of like matronly. She's not sort of like a sex pot and that. She does flirt with him in front of Dee, but she sort of like knows when to rein it all in, if you know what I mean. So it's sort of like playful teasing and that. She sits on his knee and that, and you know, so and he says something rather naughty, you know, when she's sitting on his knee. Yeah, oh, here, missus. Well, I won't tell you what it is. I'll let you see the movie for yourself. Yeah. All right then, guys. So all in all, I did quite enjoy Nightbirds and that. You know, the relationship between these two, Dink and Dee, is absolutely captivating. You know, but as I say, I know it won't be for a lot of people because my mum hated it. She said, "God, when is this bloody film going to end?" You know, but I enjoyed it. You know, it's got this sort of like grimy look about it, about London in the 1970s, very sort of like gloomy and that. You know, you see the streets of London and that, they're walking through the streets of London. And as I say, right from the moments when Dee comes across Dink in the streets, he's vomiting up and that, you know, she says, "You're all right," and that, and she takes him back. She seems a real nice girl at first, you know, as I say, like she seems a nice, caring girl, you know, takes him back to a pad, which is rather dingy, and as I say, like looks after him and that, but then of course as the movie goes on, it does take a darker and darker turn, guys, yeah. So if you like slow burn and psychological thrillers, you might enjoy Nightbirds, yeah. All right then, guys, that wraps up my review of Nightbirds from 1970. Have you seen Nightbirds? What did you think of it? Let me know in the comments down below. Be very interested, you know, to read your comments and that. But yeah, as I say, like, yeah, I quite enjoyed it. Like, even though it was a bit of a slow burner, the story kept me hooked because the relationship between these two, as I say, as the movie went on, it became more and more, you know, questionable, more dodgy, and especially when she started having that outbursts and that, you know, because you started thinking, oh, this girl isn't what she seems to be. Yeah. All right then, guys, I'll leave it there now. Yeah. Okay, on to a rating now. I'm going to give Nightbirds. I'd say I'd give it maybe a 7 out of 10. It lost a couple of points for being slow, you know, a bit of a slow burner. But having said that, I would watch it again. I'd watch it with the commentary because I did enjoy it. You know, it's one of those kind of movies like, oh, what can I say, like slow burners like maybe Rosemary's Baby, you know, movies like that, which is would cause a different story altogether involving black magic. But that kind of slow burn and sort of like leading up to the big climax and that, you know, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And in this particular case, I thought it worked. Yeah. All right then, guys, that's it. Yeah. Hope you enjoyed the video. Yeah, I used to say I enjoyed this movie, Nightbird. So I say, but I say it's not for everybody. I must keep saying that. It's not for everybody, you know, because if you don't like black and white movies from the 1970s and that, you mightn't enjoy it. Yeah. Oh, a quick word about the other one as well, the other movie on it, the Body Beneath. Yeah, that's basically like a kind of a hammer vampire ripoff. You've got this guy, he's a reverend and that, and he's a vampire, and he's got like these 3 brides and that, you know, and they look more like, to tell you the truth, they look more like zombies. They look more like zombies than vampires, and they wreak havoc across London and that, you know. And there's even a Carfax Abbey mentioned in it, which of course was in the Dracula novel. Yeah, so you're getting 2 movies on here, guys. You're getting Nightbirds, and then you're getting that one, The Body Beneath. So if you love psychological dramas, and if you love vampire movies, I think this might be the disc for you. Yeah. BFI, yeah. Okay then, guys, that's it. Hope you enjoyed the video. The usual, if you liked it, you know, please feel free to share, subscribe, comments, and all going well, I'll be back again very, very soon with another video. Bye for now.